Strange but true stories. Tales from the light side, the dark side, and the other side. I'm Steve White. There are many among us who have experienced a glitch in reality, a little wrinkle in time, a record scratch of an event in which our doppelganger appears at the same time in an alternate space. They are unexplainable and often incredibly frightening to the people who experience them. Here are just a few examples of real people experiencing this unreal phenomena. I'm a senior in high school, and I drive myself every day. My car is very distinctive. The back is covered in bumper stickers of obscure bands and skateboarding-related things. It has a huge dent in the back bumper, and my friend once carved 666 into the bumper with a pocket knife. So it's not easily confused with another vehicle. I normally leave for school at 7, but on this particular day, I left at 6:15 a.m. because I had to go in early to edit a video for my TV production class. So I pulled out of my driveway and I went to the end of my street. I stopped at the stop sign at the T intersection, turned on my left blinker, and waited for a car without its lights on to pass. When it did, I turned after and I fell in behind it. I realized that it was the same make and model, but that isn't particularly strange because it's a common car. After another 30 seconds, though, I noticed a dent in the bumper in the same place as mine. Again, a little odd, but not too crazy. It's still dark, and I had a bad habit of driving without my lights on, so it was kind of hard to see. I still didn't think much of it because, lots of cars have dented bumpers. I pulled up a little closer to the car, and I saw a bunch of bumper stickers. But I can't really see them because, again, my headlights are off. I flip them on out of curiosity, and my stomach dropped. All the bumper stickers that I'm seeing are exactly the same and in exactly the same place as what's on my car. I look really hard, and I managed to see a faint 666 carved into the bumper. What's going on? I'm thinking. The car is driving the same route I normally take to school, so I followed it. I have the idea of pulling up next to it to see who's driving, but for whatever reason, I'm a little nervous about doing that. I'm resistant. We got out onto the main road that my school is on, and we're still driving along towards my school, and we make every green light except the one for the left turn lane to get into my school parking lot. I try to look in the car's rearview mirror to maybe get a glimpse of the driver, but it's still too dark. My nerves are going insane, and every piece of me is screaming to just skip school that day altogether. But I want to figure out why somebody has my exact car. The light turns green, and we start to go, but the car in front of me doesn't turn into the parking lot. Instead, it makes a U-turn. Now, I'm conflicted about whether I should follow it or whether I should just forget about it altogether and just go park and get into school. I hesitate at the front of the turn lane until somebody from behind honks at me, so I make the impulse decision and I follow him. He only goes about, 100 yards before he pulls into a Walgreens and he parks it. Now, to get to that parking lot, you need to turn right onto another street and the right into the lot and drive behind the Walgreens before you can park. For a brief second, I lost sight of the parked car when I'm driving behind the Walgreens. When I pulled around to the other side, it was gone. The spot that I had seen it in was occupied by a completely different car. Now, not seeing it there was a mix of both disappointment and relief. I'm wondering now if it was all in my head. Did I just imagine it? Or did I really see myself driving my own car as I'm sitting in my car? I've been pondering as I've been sitting here for the hours since that event happened, and I don't really have a truly plausible explanation, but there's one little piece that may give me some indication of what's going on. I used to live on a street about a mile from where I currently live, which was in the direction that I saw that car coming in the morning. Maybe I briefly crossed into an alternate universe where I still live at that address and our time streams got mixed up or something like that. And that's how I saw myself driving my car. Either way, I can't stop thinking about it. This happened about 6 years ago. I had a 5-hour drive from my place to where the friend I was going to visit lived. I hadn't really been paying much attention to all the other cars around me, especially the ones going in the other direction. But I was about an hour away from getting to where my friend lives, and I just felt compelled to look at the oncoming traffic for some reason. I saw a little black Hyundai that was the same make and model as mine. I slowed down a little to take a good look at it. At first I thought, it's cool, same car, but then it got really creepy really fast. Because the first thing I noticed was the rusted aftermarket rims that looked suspiciously like mine, and the rust spot above the rear driver's side tire. And then I noticed the bent front plate that was bent just like mine and the sun-boiled paint on the hood. I realized the plates were from my state, even though I'm a state over, which was a pretty good hint that this wasn't average. What made my heart drop was seeing that my little pony stickers on the side and back of the car. Now, I only had a few seconds to look at this other car, but the stickers stand out on a black vehicle. The bright blue rainbow dash and bright yellow Fluttershy were in the same exact spots as mine on the back. And I made those stickers myself. So while you can buy stickers of those characters, you can't buy the ones that I made. And the final nail in the coffin to say that this was my car was the rainbow dash cutie marks on the sides. Yes, other people have them, but mine are ruined. They're faded, and the colors have run together because I got water inside the stickers I made. This car had the exact same faded and runny stickers as mine. The driver of the car was wearing a hat shaped like the one I was wearing, which was an Irish flat cap. There's little doubt in my mind that this was me driving my car the opposite direction down the road. It was so unnerving that my hands started to shake and my heart was pounding. I'm not sure how to feel about this, and the similarities are far too many for this to be a coincidence. I was driving up to the town I used to work in to meet a former co-worker for dinner. I've driven the same path to work every day since roughly last July, and so I'm driving along, listening to music, and I looked in the rearview mirror, and I saw my make and model of car, and I jokingly thought to myself, oh, there I go, until the car got closer, and I saw the driver wearing the same sunglasses as me, big blue mirrored lenses, hard to mistake. At that point, I'm confused, and I'm staring. My windows aren't tinted, and I could see that whomever was wearing the same shirt that I had on, and they had their hair styled the same way as I did. I realized I was about to rear end the car in front of me, so I slammed on my brakes, and after assuring myself that I must be crazy, I looked back in my rearview mirror, and the car was gone. There hadn't been any curbs or anything, and he hadn't passed me. But he wasn't there. The car was just gone. So, this is going to be a super short story, but it spooked me pretty good. The other night, I was out with a friend, and we're driving around, and we saw a white Ford, one like I used to drive before I totaled mine, and similar to one my friend Sarah drives. I started to say to my friend, "Is that Sarah?" But before I could get Sarah out, we were passing them, and I saw myself driving the car. We looked at each other for that weird, brief second. The weird part is, it didn't look like me now. It was like me from the past, like a few months ago. I never told my friend because it scared me, and I didn't want them to think I was crazy. Is that some sort of weird doppelganger? I don't know. It's been on my mind ever since because I literally cannot make any sense of it. This is the one and only glitch I have ever experienced. I woke up and I got ready for work. All was good, nothing out of the ordinary. I pulled up to a junction that I navigated every day on the way to work and on the way back. But this time it was different. I looked across at the waiting cars on the other side of the junction, which is where I'd be if I was driving home, and I saw the same exact car as mine, and I was like, cool. And then I took a look at the plate, and it's the same as mine. And that gave me a chill, because then I'm trying to rationalize it in my head, telling myself it's similar, but not the same. I must be tired. I looked into the car to see the driver, but it's too far away and the light's reflecting off of it. The lights change, and as we pass each other, I glance into the side window, and I swear, it's me. We made eye contact for about a couple of seconds, and it was definitely me. I was wearing the same clothes. I immediately turned around and went home. I calmed myself down, and nothing like that has happened since, and I'm hoping nothing like that happens ever again. I drive a 98 Toyota RAV4, which has certainly seen better days. My grandfather was the one that used to drive the SUV before it was handed down to me. So my grandfather started to think that maybe we should give the RAV some love. Give it a fresh coat of paint on the front and rear bumpers. Here we are then, my grandpa just getting the finishing touches on the RAV4 while I just idly watch him work when something at a distance catches my attention. I live in a closed neighborhood, my house being at the end of the street, so any car that enters must turn right in front of the house. Another RAV4, identical to mine, comes driving down the street. Well, what a coincidence, I think. It just so happens that when it passed in front of me, I caught a glimpse of the driver. And it was me, driving a RAV4 that was already painted. The driver just looked back at me, our gazes crossed. He didn't give me a nod of acknowledgement or anything. He just stared at me for a few seconds, made a U-turn, and left. I was left astounded, to say the least. This guy, which I would swear looked exactly like me, driving the same car as me, just drove past my house, stared at me for a few seconds, and then left. I didn't tell Gramps, seeing as how he didn't even notice the car because he was too busy painting. Do you have any idea what that might mean? Is that my doppelganger or something? Or is it my mind just playing some kind of sick joke on me? This has been another strange but true stories. Tell us what you think about these short glitch stories in the comments below. If you have had a similar experience, send along your story to us at strangebutTrueStories2@gmail.com. Subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks to those who have. And thanks for watching this video. I'm Steve White. Until next time.